So three. Okay. Hey, Omotolani, how you doing?
Very well, thank you.
Okay, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. So let's get started.
Same
So
here. It's my pleasure.
yeah. So my name is Arnold Ikwat, and I am a growth analyst and at Invest Bamboo. And today we have with us the finance girl the finance girl Omotolani Ashiru on the third episode of the Bamboo Sticks podcast. And hey everyone, we have a great show for you today. We're going to be talking a lot about finance with a focus on taking control of your money. So join us in welcoming Omotolani Ashiru, the finance girl. So
Thank
you can,
you. Thank you for
yeah,
having
okay.
me. It's my pleasure to be
No,
here.
thanks for coming in. For sure. So I'm gonna give a brief rundown on who. Is it okay if I call you Tolani, or you want the full
Yes,
Omotolani?
Falani is fine.
Okay,
Totally
okay. So
fine.
okay, so Tolani is a graduate of the Olabisi Onabanjo University. She is an associate member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria. She is an investor, a business and public finance expert, portfolio manager, and she loves investing. So she'll be taking us on her own personal journey about how she got into investing, finance, and just being more meticulous with money spending and the sorts. So I'm going to start off this way. So looking at your bio, I can see you currently work a 9 to 5 at a very reputable company. Okay,
Yes, I do.
and and at the same time, you also run your own personal business, and very successful based on the returns you have for the sheer volume of money you invest for clients. You run a very successful side business, and I was just wondering, like, how is that for you? How is that balancing a 9 to 5 with uh, business on the side that takes a lot of time, effort, detail, you know, consulting with clients, communicate. It takes a lot to be a financial
Yes, it does.
planner. Yeah. So like, I just want to know, and I'm pretty sure our viewers want to know as well, that what does it take, especially in Nigeria, what does it take to do both, to be uh
Oh, okay. I would start by saying it's not the easiest thing to do. It takes a
okay,
lot of time management and planning. Like you have to be able to manage your time effectively. So what I
yeah,
do is I have it in mind that my 9 to 5 comes first and then the
okay,
business second. So I do not attend to business inquiries or meetings or requests during the day. So I only attend to business from 6 p.m. From 6 p.m. each
6
day
p.m.
when closed from, when I'm closed from my 9 to 5, and then weekends when I'm not working. So that's
Wow,
how I
wow,
balance it. So I do from 6 p.m., after work, and then weekends for my business. So
for your business.
from
Oh,
9 to 5, so then another thing I do is to start my day early. So I get to
yeah,
work like 7 a.m. or before
okay,
7, unlike every other person, to start work. Then I try to finish before 6 so that I can use, whatever time is left in the day to attend to business requests and then
oh,
weekends
okay.
as well. So that's how I've been able to combine the two.
Oh, okay, that's great to hear. It's definitely not easy to do both,
No,
especially
it's
like
not easy. You
you
have
do a
to be
nine to
ready
five
to work overtime. So I work
overtime.
around
Yes,
the
I'm
clock.
round the clock. Oh
Yeah.
wow. So do you have like time for anything extra other than just work? Because I'm
Oh yes,
assuming
I
once
do.
you get out,
Yes,
still
I still
find
find time
balance to
to
do
hang
other
out with my
things.
friends.
Okay, okay.
It takes, like I said, it takes a lot of time management skills. So it's
Hmm.
something that I've learned, and
Yep.
it helps me to plan my life generally. So I still find time I still go to church. I go for meetings, church meetings. I still find time to like hang out with my friends. So it's
Mm-hmm.
not the easiest thing to
And
do, but it takes a lot of planning. Yes.
a lot of planning and probably a lot of love and dedication to what it is you're doing.
Yes.
I see your social media
Passion.
and I can tell. Yeah, I can see that you love educating because I went through it and I saw that every time like there's a news article, the way you like you give a detailed explanation of it. You're not just giving your opinion. You're actually always trying to teach, which I really really liked. And
Yes.
yeah,
Oh,
you're always
thank
trying to. So I
you.
could tell.
Thank
Oh,
you.
you're
Thank you
welcome. You're
so
welcome.
much.
Okay, okay. So let's dig a little deeper here. So do you use Instagram? Like, are you on Instagram? Or you use Instagram
Oh,
quite
yes,
often?
I'm on Instagram. Yes.
Okay, so I
Yes,
saw
I am.
I saw this caption today. I saw this post, and I wanted to read it for you, and I feel like it's something that you might resonate with, or so it goes like this. I recall starting my investment
Okay.
journey with a very short-term view. I would often reject investment opportunities whose returns were not within a 1 month frame. Okay.
Yes, yes.
I passed off so many viable investment options within 6 to 12 months in range, which is practically still short term. I would look back and then regret not trying them out when others were cashing out. Now I know better. It is important to set short, medium, and long term investment goals so you do not keep passing off viable opportunities to build wealth. Do not be like the old me. Be wise. Does that sound
That's,
familiar? Does
oh
that
my
sound familiar
goodness.
anyway?
That's so cool.
Yeah, yeah. So I was reading that and it really resonated with me. And like I said, piggybacking off of that, I could tell that you're not just into finance and accounting just to make money or maybe it's your job, but you are actually dedicated to it. You have lived whatever it is that you're preaching. Like you've had skin in the game
Yes.
with investments. Yeah, exactly. So I wanted to ask you, with people, when I see people like that, I'm always eager to find out, is this a life? Has this always been a lifelong thing? What spurred you to get
Okay.
into accounting, finance, investments? What was it?
Okay, I would say that I've always, known I was going to be an accountant. Funny thing, like
Really?
when
Always?
I was in secondary school, yes, while I was in secondary school, I did so good in business studies, accounts, commerce. Like I was the best student in commerce in I think
Okay.
SS2. You guys,
Wow.
senior secondary, that's what we
Yeah.
call it in Nigeria. So I
Hmm.
was the best student in commerce up till I left secondary school. And then while I was in senior secondary, I helped I started like a shift group in my
Okay.
class. We called it Ajo back then.
What
So
does
I
that mean? What does
started
that mean? What does that mean?
why did you say
Mhm.
it's called
What does
thrift.
it mean? What's thrift?
It's
Okay,
called
okay,
street
okay.
in English, yeah,
Thrift.
but
Okay,
Yoruba
okay, okay.
version of it was Ajo. So we knew it as Ajo. So I would get together like some of my classmates, and then we were contributing a certain amount of money every day, and then sometimes weekly, monthly. So we had targets. So by the time I got to SS3, I was able to save enough to pay my school fees.
Wow.
Like I
By the
was
time you
able
go
to
so
save
that's like,
enough to pay my school fees. Exactly, and I
mhm.
helped I got the first piggy bank in my house. So back then we
Oh,
used to
okay.
call it Kulu, like the small piggy bank. So I got
Yeah,
it
I
for
know those.
myself, bought it for my brothers. Then I made sure that my siblings were saving money. So I always had
Mm,
money, even when I was in secondary
okay.
school. So it's something that
Secondary school.
is just a part of me. Like it's not
Mm,
something I stumbled on. It's just me personally. It's just who I am. And then
mm.
so I knew right from time that I wanted to study accounting or finance or economics. So it had to be,
Oh, okay.
one of those three courses.
Okay. So a lot of times when you see children like that or young adults from SS2, you already started a group doing a thrift, you're already buying piggy, not even just for you. And I think that's where the passion for learning and teaching also comes from because you
Yes,
say you bought it
yes.
for members of your family as well. Where did that come from? Did you see your parents at any, like your mom, your dad, were they into saving? Were they
No,
always
no,
very,
funny
very
thing, I
meticulous
did
with money?
not.
Really?
I did not.
Okay.
Like it was just I don't know how to describe it. So like it was just a part of me. It was just
Fine.
who I was. So
Just
it's
growing
not
up.
like
Yeah.
somebody taught me or I saw somebody
Hmm.
doing it, but it was just me. It was just
Mm.
part of me. So I don't
It's
know how
just
to
part of
explain it unless it was innate. Like it was just
yeah.
something I was really passionate about right from when I was a kid. And I wanted
Mm.
everybody around me to be financially responsible. So right from secondary school till now. So it's still part of me, part of the reasons why I studied accounting. I served in a stockbroking firm. And then
Okay.
so I've been in that line, I've been
Yeah.
in the banking
Yeah.
industry. So All my life has been all about money and
Money.
basically
Okay.
managing money.
Yeah, that's why I feel you're the perfect person for this conversation that we're having, taking control of your money. Because I did not see a lot of my friends in high school with that,
Oh, wow.
amount of insight into saving. You saved a little while, but you saved because you wanted to get something. You didn't save just because of the general principle
Exactly,
of like,
because you
oh,
wanted
it
to
is
save for
good.
the future.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. So that's really interesting to see, and it was even gonna that even helps me out with my next question because now I can see a pattern. So after that, how did the finance girl start? Like, tell us what the finance girl is about. Like, what can we benefit from that? Like, people listening, what is that about? Your company?
Okay, so I founded the Finance Girl. The Finance Girl is an investment advisory company, which was
Yeah.
founded in 2018. So I wanted to create a platform to teach, millennials like me and then young people and even adults how to manage their money. So this is, the main reason why I created the Finance Girl. So we currently help clients to determine the best investment strategies for their
I see.
portfolio.
Okay.
Exactly. So we help them to create financial plans, savings plans, investment plans, and then we help them to also look at various asset classes they can invest in to build, to achieve their financial goals.
Oh, okay, that's really interesting. So,
Yeah.
give me a breakdown. Okay, let's paint a scenario for everyone. I am
Oh, okay.
a I am a 21-year-old undergraduate, fresh out of university. I earn a salary of maybe 50,000. I come to you and I ask that, okay, Tony, I am trying to get started on investing. I don't know the particular asset class I want to go into, but I know I
Yes.
need to make a change in my financial life. I need to take control. You see a lot of platforms now, even Bamboo, what we do. We've given people
Yes,
the
Bamboo,
opportunity
yes.
to, yeah, to
Opportunity to,
easily,
yes.
yeah. Because I'm pretty sure when you were in high school, same with me, there weren't that many platforms at the tip of your
No,
fingertips. A lot of us,
none. There was
a lot,
none. You had to use
yeah, a
the
lot of us,
traditional piggy
no,
bank
yeah,
to save money.
or
Yeah.
do thrift. Yes, exactly. You had to do all of that, and
Yes,
even if you did, like save, the thing about saving, as you're an expert, I shouldn't say this, but the thing about saving is that if you put 1,000 naira today, it's not going to be worth like the purchasing power is not going to be worth 2, 3 years from now. So I think that's also a
definitely.
problem a lot of us had. So now with platforms like Bamboo, where you can not just save your money, you can look forward to, you know, diversifying asset classes, building up on that initial deposit you made. So now as a
Exactly. And
21 year
investing
old,
your money.
yeah, as a 21-year-old, I'm coming out of university. I want to know, like, what would you recommend to someone just getting in? What would you tell a new investor, like their first ever investment opportunity? What would you tell them to go for? Would you tell them to go for fixed income, stocks? Like, what is it? Or you would just say, try out the whole pool. Like, what exactly is your companies? What do you guys try to do? Do you try to educate, or like, yeah?
Okay, so for starters, for people that are new to investing, you've not invested before, that's like your first time. So what I do is to walk you through why, first of all, why do you want to invest? It's very important that you know why. So you're not just, putting your money in everything that comes your way, like every opportunity that you see. So first of all, why, establish the why of why the reason why
That's a
you want
lot.
to invest. You want is it that you want to protect your money against inflation or, devaluation? So what exactly is your goal for investing? It's very important that you set a goal so that you are sure of which asset class is going to help you achieve your goal. So what is your goal for investing? Once that is established, then based on your goal, we now review your risk tolerance. So
Mm,
what's your risk tolerance? Are you risk averse? Are you a risk taker? Or you're just, somewhere in between? You're not, you can take risk when it comes, or you're not just, or you like to take risk. So I determine your risk appetite. So once you're able to determine your goals and then your risk appetite, then that would inform what asset class I'm going to be, advising you to invest in. Then your goals are, classified into short term, medium, and then long term goals. So are you investing for the short term? Are you looking at maybe 1 to 5 years return? or you're looking at more than 5 years. So once we're able to establish all of that, it becomes easier for me to streamline and then advise you what asset class best works for you and suits, your financial goals as an individual.
Okay, that's really cool to
So
know.
for a
So,
21-year-old, I would say that you're not really in need of cash as such. Like, it's not like you
at
want
the
to build
moment,
a
understood.
house or you want to buy a car. Your parents
Yeah.
are, possibly still giving you money. So I would advise something more long term. So by the time
Mm,
you are maybe like 30, you would have built, something that is long term, like the stock market
yeah.
or bonds, like government bonds are long term, like 3 to 5 years. So it helps you to, it keeps you from spending that money. So by the time you're like 30, you can have access to your money.
Money. Okay. Okay. So let's get a little bit more personal now. Let's talk about you. Like, do you follow U.S.
Okay.
stock markets, Nigerian? Like, what do you follow? What asset classes do you personally try to
I
invest
think
in
I follow
or look at?
both the
You
US
follow both.
stock market and yeah, the Nigerian stock market.
Oh, okay. Okay. Have you done any investing lately, or not really? Any personal investing, like
Okay, not
personal?
recently, like not in the past few months, but I have, of course,
Hmm. You
I
haven't.
have stocks in Facebook and
Okay.
Amazon. Yes.
Okay. Any particular reason those two? Any particular reason why you chose those?
I think for me it was because of their growth. I could see
Mm,
their capitalization. They were growing. There were prospects. So the time I was buying, I was
okay.
looking at their prospects and how the stock has done. The performance of the stock in previous years. So basically, those
Okay.
were my not like I'm a stock market expert
Hmm.
100%, but at least I have an idea how the market works. I've worked in the stockbroking firm before. But for the US stock market, I'm still quite new. I'm just getting
You're still
started,
getting
but
pretty well.
at least I've learned quite a lot from investing myself.
Mm. Okay, so since like I think a lot of the principles, even if you've not been long in the U.S. stock market, you said you have
Exactly.
experience.
They're the
Yeah.
same, yeah, they're
So
the same principles that affect,
yeah,
yes.
same. They underline. So how do you feel about diversification versus concentrated portfolios? Especially in the stock
For me,
market, different
yes.
sectors.
For me, I would rather diversify. What diversification helps you to do is to spread your risk, basically.
Mm,
So you're not putting all your eggs in one basket. So if you fall short in one stock, then you can always make up for, the losses in another stock.
so yeah,
That's just my own personal investment
personal.
policy. So I would rather diversify, but then you have to be careful to prevent over diversification. When you over
Why is that?
diversify, it's just like diluting. It's just like having a bottle of Coke and then over diluting it because
Isn't
you
it?
don't
Nah,
want to take
nobody
too
likes
much
that.
sugar. So it's not going to
Yeah.
make any sense eventually because that's how it is. So you don't want to over dilute your portfolio. But then you can have, a portfolio of various asset classes that are reasonable and then help you to achieve your goals.
Okay. So another thing I wanted to ask you. So one thing we are seeing, or I am seeing personally, by looking at the stock market and just talking to people in it, there's this stigma against profit taking. Let's take your portfolio, for example, you invest in Facebook, and at the time you invest, maybe it was 200, and it hits an all-time high, it gets to 400. Facebook is a really good company. A lot of analysts say it's something you
Yes,
should
yes.
hold for a long term. But I see a lot of people fighting that urge, or they're fighting the urge and also just unsure of, okay, it hit an all-time high. It can possibly get
It
higher.
could possibly go
Yeah,
down, yes,
yeah,
or go
yeah. It can
up.
also
Yes.
possibly go down. So they're wrestling with that decision of, do I sell it, take that 200%
Or do
plus,
I hold?
100% plus, or do I hold for the long term? What do you tell someone like that if it's me and I'm coming to you like, this stock just hit its absolute all-time high. I am struggling, Tolani. I am struggling because I also feel I can make other investments. I could take this cash out, keep it, store it as a win, because in the end, that's a win.
And
You've
then use it
done
for
over
something
100%.
else.
And use it for something else. Maybe go into bonds, diversify. Invest in other
Yes,
stocks.
exactly.
Like what? But there's also that part of Facebook is a good stock. It's really good.
Yes, it
They could
is.
probably hit 500,
So
600,
am I going to lose
but you
out?
never
Because
know. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
exactly. I may want to come in later and then the stock price is
Yeah.
very high and I'm going to lose
Yeah.
out. So first of all, what I try to figure out is that personally, I am a speculative investor.
Okay.
I'm quite short term and speculative. So when
Uh,
the market goes high, I just
goes
want to
down.
sell and have my money back. So I'm quite speculative and I'm waiting for the next time when the stock price drops and then I want to go into the market again. So I always advise people. So are you a speculative investor or you want to invest for the long term? And this is why I said goal setting when it comes to investment is is very key. So what are you trying to achieve? Do you want to hold the stock for the next 20 years, next 30 years? So you're not interested in, whatever short-term fluctuations are happening, or are you speculative in the sense that you just want to make, short-term returns? You're buying and selling, buying and selling. So when you decide what you really want to do, it makes it easier for you. So if you decided you want to hold for the long term, even if there are fluctuations in the market, you know why you bought the stock, in the first place. You know your reason, you know your goals and what you're trying to achieve. So you're not really
Personal.
bothered about whether the market is fluctuating or not. You know why you're keeping it. You know your why. You know, oh, the company is doing well and, it's a stock I can hold for a very long term. But if you are a speculative investor, it's better for you to be monitoring the prices and then sell when it goes there, make some return, and then, invest in another stock or a different asset class. And then you can always come back if there's any, if there's any fall in that particular
Oh
stock
yeah.
again due to one economic reason or the other. So that's what I usually advise.
That's really really solid advice because one thing is that you can never really, let me even put it this way. I feel there's no absolute right way to invest in the market.
To
It
do
works
it,
different ways
yes.
for different people. So I
Different
feel
people,
that's one thing.
yes.
Yeah, one thing you're trying to like teach people is, just because it worked for James or Laura a particular way doesn't mean
Exactly.
it's
It
going to
does not
work
mean
for
it's
you that
going to
particular.
work for you that way.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you
So
have to
that's why you
decide who
have to.
you are, what works for
Mhm,
you, and then why you're investing in the first
mhm,
place.
mhm. Yeah, that's really really solid advice. We're seeing a lot of new investors, especially on Bamboo, and there's just so much excitement. It's got me personally very excited to see a lot of
Yes.
young individuals, like finally being able to, because I'm sure the desire has always been there, but now the avenue is also
The
there, right at your
opportunity,
fingertips.
yes.
Yes,
They
and
didn't have the opportunity.
a lot of people are making money. A lot of people are doing well. You're doing great. But at the same time, I feel there's always that need to remind people that, nothing in life goes up forever. Nothing in life is one dimension.
Yes.
There's ups. So now a
Nothing
lot of
is
people are seeing,
certain.
yeah. So do you want
Definitely
to tell
not the
people
stock
about,
market.
yeah, for sure. Do
The
you
stock
want to tell
market
people about, have you
is,
ever,
oh, okay.
yeah,
I
keep
would like
going.
to add that the stock market is high
Mhm.
risk. So once you have
Okay.
that understanding, that is high risk and is highly volatile. So that means that you could make a lot of money and at the same time lose a lot of money. So you should have that in mind before you
Do you have,
invest. So you're sure that the risk that you're taking is very high and that you're fine with it. So when you make money, you're fine. And when you're losing as well, you're fine with it because
okay.
that's what you signed up for.
Do
So
you have
it's
any
not
personal,
emotions. It's not your emotions. It's just the fact. It's the fact that that's how the market is, and that's how it has always been. How it would probably remain like that.
that's true. That's true. Do you have any personal stories you'd like to share with us, or maybe like a sad situation that happened when you invested in, so it doesn't even have to
Oh
be the stock
yes,
market,
a sad
any,
investment
okay.
story.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Okay, so when I okay, so
Let's hear it.
when I got started investing, I actually started with private equity. So I was more like
Okay.
a private equity kind of person. Oh, my friend wants to float a business, and then okay,
Yes.
they come to me. Okay, can we partner? Pull our funds together, and then see how floats this business, and then see how it goes. And I was an accountant, so of course we had business plans and all of that. So there was this
Yeah.
particular business venture we had, big dreams. I was already dreaming of private jets, and how I was going to become.
No, you didn't even start
I
with
was going to
G-Wagon.
become
Just
the
was private
next
jet.
Dangote.
Okay,
Do you get it? I was already
okay.
thinking of the G-Wagons,
Hmm.
the security aids and all of that. I had so many things. I was so young. I think I was like the third year, like the fourth year into my career, so I was still very young.
Okay.
And then I just wanted to do business. Like I was like, oh, I have to be in the business space because that's where you can, be a
Yeah.
billionaire, not 9 to 5. So my friend introduced this business deal. So I was supposed to be like an equity holder. So I invested. We did all the business planning and then the forecasting, all the accounting stuff. But man, it went bad, and I lost all my money. That
Yeah.
was like all my money, all my savings that I
Every single
had.
party.
Exactly. So I
Mm,
didn't even think of diversify. Like it didn't even occur to me that I was supposed to like not put all my eggs in one basket. So I lost big time. We lost all our money, running into millions of naira, and then man, so it was the toughest, period of my life because that was all my life savings for 4 years of hard work.
how did that
So I had to
how did
start
that
all over again.
how did that change your investment philosophy? Like how did that change you? Because that had to a millionaire. I've lost a bunch of money before. It changed me a lot. It changed me a whole
Oh
lot. So
yes, it does. It definitely does.
yeah.
No, but
So
honestly,
how
I
did that?
still
So,
lost money after then. It's like I didn't learn.
yeah.
So the second time, I still, when I started, I think I was discouraged basically. So I
Okay.
stuck to, I just started investing in the money markets. So I just stayed with the money markets, treasury bills. That was the only thing I
Okay.
decided I was going to be doing because I wasn't ready to lose all my money.
More
So
money
I
again.
started investing in treasury bills, and then the rate of treasury bills was a bit high. I think
All right. Okay.
18%, 20%. So it was
Oh
doing
wow.
well. So I was
Well.
doing well. So I didn't care about any other, investment opportunity until I joined an investment club. I became a member of an investment club, and then they started opening my eyes to different sectors and different investment opportunities. So it kind of changed my perspective. So I wasn't stuck in the past. I wanted to move on and then take more risk and try on, other investment options. So I think one of the major lessons from my mistake was that I learned the importance of, diversification and having a portfolio, like not putting all your eggs in one basket. So it was very important to me. So I started to spread my risk. So I would do a portfolio for myself, like 60%, money market, 20 to 30% stock, then, 30% alternative investment. So it helps me to learn about,
Yeah.
portfolio and different asset classes.
Mm. You know that's such an amazing story because I'm not an advisor, but I talk a lot, and I have a lot of people around. They just say, "Oh, you work at Bamboo, you should. How do I invest this money?" And I'm just okay. Do this, 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 and this. And when you tell them, you know, they don't even
Yeah.
they, they don't see they listen, but they never get started. It's like everyone's always waiting for that right opportunity. There's always
Right
that fear.
opportunity
Some
to invest.
yeah,
Yes.
there's
Yes.
always that fear of
I noticed
they can
that.
I can tell you 50. It's just the same thing with compliments. Someone compliments you 50 times, you hear everything. But the one time they say, "Oh, that dress doesn't really look good on you," that's the one you remember for the next 10 years. You get
Yes.
what I'm saying? And it's the same thing with investment. You tell them, "Oh, okay, the market is doing well. A lot of people are making money." But if your mind isn't emotionally and mentally ready to make that step to invest, you're never going to do it, regardless of how
You're
well
never going
the
to
market
get
is doing.
started. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And one thing I do respect about what you like the story you just explained is you still got back on. You lost millions of naira, but you realized that okay, that's part of the game. It's part of life. You're gonna have ups and downs. You can't
Yeah.
be
You
up
win
all the
some, you
time.
lose some. Yes.
Yeah. So I
Mhm.
like the way you adjusted and from a very, very risky investment, you went to something slightly safer. But you were still the important thing is that
Yes.
you were still investing. You still stayed invested.
Investing.
You
Yes.
give up. Is that something you always try to preach to your clients and people around you? Like, you know what? Like, as bad
Yes.
as things may be, as bad as like, look at this market now, the U.S. market. It was terrible in mid-March. Terrible. A lot of people, especially older people, jump ship.
Was
They jump ship.
yeah,
They're like,
jump
ah,
ship. They were
yeah.
selling,
Like, no, yeah,
but
they were
now
sold a
it's
lot.
getting back there.
look at the market now. Every 21 to 25-year-old is
Yes.
looking like
The
Warren
market
Buffett.
is
And you're just
volatile. The market is highly
yeah.
volatile. It's highly
Yeah.
volatile. So when things happen, like there's a pandemic or there's,
Mm,
it's like there's a recession, it's definitely going to
mm.
affect the market. So, but then
Okay.
it's
Okay.
not enough reason for you to, bail out. If
Yeah.
you don't need to
If
be
you
scared, so you can just wait it out. So what I try to do is, what was the performance of the stock before then? Before that
mhm.
time, before the recession or before the pandemic. If it was doing well, then there's a high probability that it's still going to go up. But if the stock has always been bad, then maybe it's just time for you to sell. Anyways,
So yeah, I
yeah.
get. Hmm. So talking about the pandemic, I saw another thing. So tell me if this sounds familiar. My friend and I are working on a free program to teach non-finance
Oh, okay.
executives,
Yes.
business owners who cannot afford to hire full-time accountants and consultants, the basics of accounting they need to run their business. Watch this space. So I want to ask you, COVID-19 has changed a lot of things. It's changed, especially in
Yes,
terms
it
of doing
has.
business. It's, in terms of doing business, some companies are thriving, some companies are struggling, and it shows the need for innovation, constant change, to keep your ears to the ground, never be set. You always stay fluid. What are you seeing as a financial advisor, as a consultant, now that you know you feel is not just a trend, but moving forward, it's going to catch? Let's say, now me and you are talking on Zoom. If this was a couple of months ago, we
Yes.
would have probably found a way to be in the same space. We would There would have been some form of physical contact, but this whole setup was completely remote. And that's a big. I even saw you retweeted that the Zoom be more valuable at the time than the five airlines. You remember
Exactly.
that too? Yeah, yeah. So
Yes, I do.
a year ago, that would have been unimaginable. So it just shows the need for constant innovation in your business. So what are you seeing personally that business owners, individuals, entrepreneurs, what do you feel like they should be working on? What do you think they should be looking at? Like what courses, what certifications, what changes are you thinking that okay, you need to make during these tough times? It can even branch into are you still there? Uh hey Tolani.
Um,
Okay, are you still here?
so first of all, I would like to say that the are you still there? I think I had a small glitch, yeah, a
No, it's
network
fine. It's
glitch.
fine. You're good.
Sorry for
Yeah,
that.
you're good.
So like I was saying, so one thing, I think one of the major lessons I learned during the pandemic is essential services. Like you must find a way to factor in essential services into your business. So food,
Mm,
those are the things that were essential to us: food, internet, um, what else? Food, basically food and internet. So people were not bothered about clothing or shoes
yeah,
or bags anymore. So it was
pharmaceuticals
just
too.
about staying alive.
Hmm.
Pharmaceuticals, yeah. So food, pharmaceuticals, yes, and then internet services. So if there's a way you can, so I had a lot of businesses that had to divest into some of those areas during the
Mm,
pandemic. So I had friends that were, selling shoes or selling bags, selling clothes. They had to use whatever business resources they had and then move to selling, essential services. So I
mm,
think one of the major lessons for business owners is you must be flexible
mm,
enough to make changes in your business. Make your business so flexible such that when there's a pandemic or anything that affects your business, you're able to convert your current resources you have without having to invest more into a different, maybe a slight different line of business just to make some profits during a pandemic or a
pandemic.
recession that affects your business adversely. So first of all,
Yeah.
flexibility is very important. You must be flexible enough to adapt to whatever changes are happening, and you must be able to take advantage of them.
Yeah, that
And
for
then
sure is true.
secondly,
And
have a business continuity plan. It's very important. So a business continuity plan basically helps you to plan for your contingencies
mm,
or in like
unforeseen
future
circumstances. Yeah. Hmm.
contingencies that could affect your business. So whether government policies or so you can sit down and then look at your business continuity plan. So what are the major things that have affected your business during the pandemic or government policies in the past. So how would they affect your business in the future? So how did you react to them? What financial or other effects did they have on your business? And how did you move from there, or how do you want to move from there? So when such things occur again, you're able to what's it
To
called?
navigate, yeah.
Plan
Steer,
better.
navigate, yeah. Okay. hmm
Exactly.
So can you remember? You remember? It's Gokada, right, or Ope? Oh, it's
Yes,
Gokada. Yeah. Those. Yeah. So remember, right before the pandemic, I think it was the Lagos state government that banned Okadas, right?
exactly.
Yes.
Okada from, yes.
So if you look at it in that sense, it turned out to be a blessing in disguise for them because it allowed them shift the core of their business model from people. Because now, if you look at it, nobody's really taking Ubers that much. Nobody's really taking. Can you hear me? No, I think we lost her again.
Exactly,
Spartan.
to delivery services.
Yeah, yeah. They pivoted to delivery services. So
Okay, I think
that's
I'm back
part of
now.
some.
Just a small
Yeah, yeah,
network glitch.
yeah. You're back. You're back.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Okay. No, it's fine. It's fine. So we're seeing that sometimes there's always still opportunity, regardless of how bleak a situation is. Because I'm sure at the time those businesses were looking, wow, the core of our business, transporting people to
Exactly,
point A and
yes.
from point B, has been taken away. But now, a couple of months down the line, it allowed them to shift and adapt before the pandemic
Two
struck.
delivery services. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So they were very, very prepared. So that's why I keep telling a lot of people, as bad as things may be, as as unprecedented times that we're seeing right now, there's always opportunity at like in
Yes,
every
there's always
market, in
opportunities for your
every
business.
situation.
Yes.
Yeah. So you always have to keep your head up, keep your ears to the ground, and just look for ways you can adjust and navigate.
Adapt, yeah,
So
adapt to current
yeah.
situations. Yes.
Mhm. Let's take it more. Let's take it more to a let's take it to a micro level a bit more. Let's talk about individuals. So now with COVID too, we're also seeing a lot of companies are laying off staff or they are cutting salaries. But at the same time,
Yes, yes.
there's also inflation. Things are more expensive in the market. So at the same time, you're experiencing a cut in your salary and a
Yeah,
rise
exactly. Yeah,
in the
you don't
amount of
even know
things.
how to.
Yeah, to
Yeah,
navigate
I
that.
do understand.
Yeah. So
Okay,
what would you?
for individuals. Okay, for
Yeah.
individuals, I would say that first of all, um, come to terms with the situation. They've cut my salary, so that means that I'm not going to be able to spend like I
So
used to be. So first of all, come to terms with the situation and how it will affect your budget and your expenses. So you may have to withdraw your budget to fit into your new salary, your new salary while you are looking for, another opportunity. So first of all, come to terms with the situation. Secondly, withdraw your budget to fit into your new salary. Then thirdly, begin to look for opportunities. Like don't let that discourage you. Just start to put yourself out there. If you have any skills that you can sell, maybe on the side, or a new talent you found during the lockdown
statement.
that you can
Yeah.
sell. So just begin to, put yourself out there and think of other things that you can do aside from, your 9 to 5. It's very important. So while you're also trying to get, maybe a better paying job, people are still getting jobs. I'm surprised. A couple of my friends have, gotten new offers. And I'm like, so even in this pandemic, some people are still
Pandemic.
moving. They're still,
Yep.
changing jobs. So that means there are still opportunities. So
Opportunities
you
out
should,
there.
put yourself out there, keep applying to opportunities for, a new job. But first of all, cut down your spending. So that means you cannot do some certain things anymore
Some
because
things
your
anyway.
salary is
Yeah.
now smaller. So it may also affect your investment goals or your, financial plan for the whole year. So just adjust all your goals to fit into
Yeah.
your current salary while you're planning on increasing your income.
What are some? Have you? I'm guessing you've probably helped someone plan out a budget. So I want to give a personal. The first time I planned out my budget and followed it completely for a whole month, my salary was still the same.
Yeah.
The money I was getting was still the same, but there just seemed to be money coming from places I didn't know. Halfway through
I
the
can
month,
imagine.
I looked at my account. I was like, did someone say, so I had to go through my account statement. I looked up that. I said, someone sent me money at some point because I have more money than
Almost
I
because
normally
it
would.
can't be me.
Yeah, it cannot be me. And that's one
I
thing I
didn't
feel
spend
a
all
lot of.
that money. Yes.
Yeah, that's one thing I feel that it's one thing to hear it, to hear testimonials, but until you do it
You have to
and
do it.
see
Yes, you
them,
have to be
yeah, see
deliberate
them.
about it. Yes, you have to do it.
How do you preach that to your clients? Do you give them sample of, okay, like this is how my
Yeah.
account statement looks without when I don't budget. This is what it looks like when I do budget. Like,
When
because
I
there's a
yes.
lot of it, yeah, there's a lot of initial, just angst against budgeting. A lot of people don't like. A lot
Okay.
of people
So
don't like to see how they're spending money.
yeah, I get.
Mhm.
So for my clients, what I do is that I personally I take it up upon myself to monitor, their budget. So we sit together and then look at your budget, look at all your expenses, and then determine how much you want to, be saving, or your areas that you can cut down on, and then so we look at your current
Yeah,
budget, and then from there we create a new budget for you.
that's right. Mm-hmm. Hey, Tolly.
And an investment plan.
Okay.
So we look at a budget for you, a new budget for you, and then an investment plan. Exactly.
Okay.
So based on that, then I'll be monitoring on a monthly basis, like following up with you to ensure that you're not spending more than what we've budgeted and agreed on. So it's like more or
Mm.
less like personal coaching for me. So I'm involved in the process. So I don't just leave
Oh,
you
okay.
to do the budget. I am involved, like fully involved in the process to
So,
see that you're disciplined, that you're not just, yes.
your with the finance girl, when you first started that, was that your first ever client? Was that something you had to do? Like, what was your first ever assignment for the finance girl? What was it? Was it drawing up a budget for your friend? Was it drawing up a budget for a possible firm that your friend wanted to
Clients,
start?
yes.
Was it who was your first client? Like, and how was that experience? Like being under the
Um,
brand the finance girl.
okay.
Was that a lot of pressure to start? Like, how was it?
So for me, I think it wasn't really a lot of pressure for me to start because so something I was doing even while I was in school, I was helping my friends to save, to invest. So it wasn't new to me. So when I started with a lot of freelance. I did, investment plans, financial plans, and savings plans for a lot of my friends, cousins, family members, basically. So they were some of my first clients, but they were free clients. So the
Which
first
which year was
paid
this? Which year
client
was
I
this?
had, this was
Which year was this?
2007. I started
Okay,
in
okay,
2018 officially.
okay.
So 2017, exactly. So 2017, I was doing freelance, a lot of freelance. Till up till like last year, I was still doing a lot of freelance. So what freelance helped me to, it helped me to improve my skills, and then it helped me to also see my areas of strength and how I could, be better in. And then one of the reasons I decided to do like a personal coaching was because I noticed that a lot of people don't, you can advise them, but they don't do these things. Like they
Yeah,
just take your advice and then
it's
they
very
go
hard.
back to.
Yeah.
But then through this, I've been able to help, a lot of my clients and friends to stay disciplined.
Mm. Do you try to reach out? Like, how often do you try to reach out to them? Is it more, do you call them, or do they reach out to you? Like, how personal is it? How personal do you try to be in that consulting aspect? Do you just leave them to go figure a bunch of stuff out, or do you call them to check out that, okay, how are your investments doing?
Oh yes, I do.
Online?
Yeah, I follow up with them. I have trackers, I have trackers and all of that. So and then I do follow-ups, like I'm follow-ups. I do regularly, like sometimes monthly follow-ups. So how did your
Yeah.
budget do this week? And then I have like follow-up forms and then follow-up templates that they have to complete for me to see, the extent of progress that they've made.
Okay, okay, okay. So now that was in 2018. There was no bamboo then. The bamboo wasn't. Hello? Oh, I think we lost Tony. Uh, so we're still waiting on top. I think we lost her for a second.
Okay,
Okay,
sorry. Yeah, I
you're
think
back.
my network is a bit. Yeah, so I'm back now.
Okay. So I was asking, when you first started, there wasn't any bamboo there as an option for you to tell your clients about. And
Yes.
so how do you feel now if someone came up to you and said, "Oh, I heard about this platform, Bamboo, that they trade U.S. stocks." How do you feel about it? Do you feel it's something I should get into? Would you put that as a possible option for your clients to get into?
Oh yes, I do. I do. I actually have a list of platforms like that. So I also so if you say you want bamboo, then of course it's you're you're free to choose, and then
Seriously.
I'm not going to
Okay,
impose.
okay,
So whatever it is you want to do, you want to invest in, fine.
okay. Let's do it this way. For you personally, if you had to give someone, let's say a child, a brother, a successor, 25 years from
Yes.
now, 25 years into the future, you had to give them one stock. So you hold it for 25 years, then when on upon expire or maturity at the 25th year, you give them that stock. What stock? It could be Nigerian, it could be American. What stock do you feel 25 years from now would be a good enough legacy or gift to give someone?
Wow,
Like
this is
start
a
them on
bit.
their.
This is a
Yeah, we
bit
like
tough.
that. Yeah. Take your time, take your time.
um. Okay. I would say for Nigeria, I would say Nestle. For
Nestle.
Nigeria,
Okay.
for a local stock, I would say I would do Nestle, because they've been around for a couple of years, and
Yeah.
the performance of the stock hasn't been all that bad. And they sell, they produce and distribute essential goods which have been in the market for a very long time. But I grew up taking some of their products, and I'm
Products, yeah.
still,
And they've
taking some of their products. I'm sure that my children too would be
for
introduced to
sure,
some of their products. I see them as long lasting, they have a legacy. So I would go for Nestle if it's Nigerian. For American stock, I'm a bit in between, but
let's help you out. You can do so 25. So I think that's about how much is that? Maybe 12,000. You can split it
okay.
down the middle, 12,000, 12,000. If you want to pick two stocks.
Okay, I will do for now 25 years.
Mm,
25 years. Wow.
yeah, that's a long time.
That's a long time. I think I would still do Facebook and Amazon.
So, okay,
I
that's
would still
good.
do
That's a
Facebook and
good.
Amazon. Because tech is here to stay. And then, tech is here to stay. E-commerce is here to
Yeah,
stay. So even if there are going to be changes in the future, they would probably just be upgrades to what we currently have.
yeah.
Exactly. So that's for me. I feel anything tech, and then e-commerce.
Those are solid. I would definitely take Amazon for me personally, just for the
Yes.
same reasons. They seem to know what they're doing. They seem to be constantly innovating, and I feel once you talk about long term, I always try to look what company tries to stay ahead of the curve. Especially in
Exactly.
times like
What
this.
value?
Yeah,
What
yeah.
problem they're solving? Exactly. And
Mm.
if that problem is going to be still be existing in the next 10 to 5 years. Yeah.
So yeah, Amazon is definitely on my list for that. I'll just put the whole
Amazon,
25,000
yes.
down. I won't
Oh,
really
so I
think
should.
twice.
So that means I'm doing well.
Yeah, you're doing great. We're on the same page. I mean, we're right. Nobody can tell us anything now.
Yeah.
So I also wanted to ask you, in terms of
Okay.
resources, books, films, podcasts, channels you listen to for investment inspiration. Who are people that you look at that are heroes to you in this space? It could be Robert Kiyosaki, along those lines. Do you have any
Okay.
favorite investors or traders that you look at?
Okay, so for Nigeria, I would say Tomi Balogun.
Mm,
She's somebody I look up to. She's like a mentor to me, and she has helped a lot of millennials to invest
to
across the
invest
globe.
success.
She runs the biggest investment club currently in Nigeria with about 600 members from different
Mm,
countries all over the world. So I've learned a lot from her, and then so for me, for Nigeria, she's my go-to when it comes to investing.
Okay, that's really good. I think
And then
this.
for I'll do Warren Buffett.
Warren Buffett. Okay.
Like he's,
Okay.
of course, one of the richest investors in the world. And then he's, I read his story and I want to be the female Warren
Yeah.
Buffett in the
I
next
feel.
3 years.
I feel you.
Let's see
I
how that
definitely feel
works.
you're on the right track. Yeah, I feel you. You're on the right track. Man. Like just the way
Yeah,
you.
so
Yeah. Yeah. Just looking at your work, just the way you try to communicate and you try to actually learn and preach. I really like that. That really resonates with me. It doesn't
thank
seem
you
like you're
so
trying to.
much. Thank you.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like you're trying to sell. It just seems like you're just doing your best to educate people, and I could just tell that you're really genuine and you have a great passion for it. So
Thank
I
you.
really like that. Yeah. So
Thank
do
you.
you have?
Thank you so
That's
much.
fine. Do you have any closing remarks? I know people were asking about more information
Uh,
on the finance girl. So do you? Let
yes.
me see if I can pull that up. Said, please introduce me to your investment club so I can see the various opportunities and things that you offer on there. So do you just want to give any closing remarks to people watching on the Finance Girl, why they should join? Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you. So
Yeah.
I would definitely share something with them. So it's a bit personal, it's a personal club. It's just within, between few friends. So I would need to ask them if they are okay to take on new people. And then you could start your own club too. Like I could put you through how you can start your own investment club. If you have 2 or 3 people that you are interested in investing like you, so you can come together, review investment products together, and then invest together if that works for you.
Okay, guys. You heard what Tolani had to say on that. So please check her out on Twitter. She also has an Instagram. Can you give us your Twitter handle? What's your Twitter handle? What's your
Yes.
Instagram?
Okay, so my Twitter handle is Tolani. So it's THOURLARNEE. So don't laugh.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you
That's good.
can follow me on
It's a different
Instagram
way. Instagram too.
at Miss Tolani, and then my business page is the Finance Girl on
Yeah.
Instagram. So you can follow me as well. Yes. And if you have any questions, you want me to help you, get started investing, you can always send me a DM or, an email at omotolaniashiru@gmail.com.
Yeah. I can assure you that she would answer you quickly and she will be very engaging with it. I can promise
Yes.
you that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, I know why you said that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So yeah. Thanks a lot, Tolly. Thanks for coming on and spending time with us and revealing to us some insights you use to take control of your finances.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Yeah, hopefully we get to have you some other time in the future.
Yes, I'm always
okay.
I'm here for you. Thank you so much. Thank you everybody for joining.
Yep.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.